If you ever try to fight a bad habit, you probably noticed how hard it is to stop. Be it smoking, binge eating, or binge watching TikTok, it just feels like everything is against you and you cannot succeed. You cannot win. What if I tell you that there's actually a cheat code? And man, I wish I would have known about it earlier in my life. The trick is actually not to fight a bad habit, but to do something instead. And in order to understand what exactly we are supposed to do, what is the actual cheat code, we need to understand first what is a habit and how does it actually work. And second, we need to really let it sink in our head. And for this, I will give you two life stories, one of which is my personal one, that really make it hit home. Well, what is a habit and how does it actually work? Well, I'm not going to go too much into details about it, but what usually happens, you have a cue or a trigger, right? You get a notification on your phone that triggers you to have a craving. Then you do the behavior, you do the bad habit by picking up the phone and watching what the notification was, and then you get a reward, or better to say, your brain gets a reward. To put simply, there is a trigger, something happens, then you do the bad habit, and your brain gets a reward. Now, in order to stop the bad habit, we need to interrupt the pattern somewhere. Listen to the first story and see if you can spot the cheat code. This one comes from a 30-something-year-old multimillionaire entrepreneur, Stephen Barnett, and his book, The Diary of a CEO. Well, his father was a smoker, and he really tried to stop. He was fighting it for 20 years, but nothing worked until Stephen made a suggestion. Hey, it looks like you're smoking all the time in your car. What exactly is happening? Oh, I just sit down, I start the engine, and then my hand goes into the side pocket and grabs the cigarettes. This is a habit. Once he is inside of the car, the trigger is, oh, I'm inside the car, I need a cigarette. Then he has a craving actually for grabbing the cigarette. Then he does a behavior, grabs it, and lights it up. And then his brain gets a reward like, oh, nice, dopamine. Something entered my body, right? Well, here's how he fixed it. After failing for 20 years, the things that ended up working perfectly was just replacing the cigarettes with a candy, like a bag of candies. Now every time he is sitting down in the car and he is triggered and he has a craving to do something, he grabs something from the pocket, sees there's a candy, and he's just like, I'll eat it. Eats it, and then the brain is like, okay, I'm kind of satisfied, I got some dopamine out of it. Here's how I implemented this idea in my life. I always had a problem with binge eating before bed. Like, my stomach would just be like, oh, I want something. I would go to the kitchen, grab something, and then I would go to bed. And this was really bad because having a working stomach actually interrupts my sleep and makes my sleep worse. I tried many things. I tried the disciplined way. I tried to be like, no, I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to suffer through it. And I have succeeded a few days. But the problem is eventually you relapse. Eventually you cannot do it no longer. So the solution for me was very simple. Now every week I go for groceries, I buy apples, I put some somewhere visible, and every time I have a craving to eat in the evening, I grab an apple and I eat it. This way my body got the impulse like, oh, we got something, and my craving goes away, and I can continue with my routine and actually have a better sleep. Because apple is much better than whatever is in the fridge. So to summarize, the lesson is, if you want to stop a bad habit, never fight it. Instead, get creative and find more healthy alternatives to give your brain the same reward, but in a more healthy way. See you tomorrow.